Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus Cornix, and welcome to Classy Movie Rambles, where I talk about old movies that I found in my closet while cleaning. This week's movie is Lupin the Third, and it's an anime based on a comic book by Monkey Punch in 1971, and the episode I'm going to be talking about is A Boring Rainy Day, and it's about 24 minutes long. And the movie starts obviously with a boring rainy day and the character of Lupin running into the house and meeting up with his longtime friend Jigen, which is this kind of weird guy with a hat covering his face, and he's like a gunslinger, and the hat more or less covers his face, and all that's sticking out of under the hat is his beard. And in a bit a guy arrives in a green tuxedo, and he wants Lupin to tag along to see his boss. And Lupin, kind of just for fun, he just goes with the guy and to ride to this new place, and he meets up with this other agent called Fujiko, which is like this undercover agent, I guess. So this film is very much based on the James Bond kind of trope, like agent, broads, and guns. And in 1971, that was the thing, I guess. So they arrive at this place, and he talks to this agent, and they go to see the mob boss. And at first I thought he was like paralyzed or something, but no, he's not paralyzed. He's amnesia. He's got this some kind of amnesia going on. And Lupin kind of I think he thinks it's a joke or something, so he kind of like refuses the job, the deal, to find out what's going to happen to the guy or whatever. But he gets threatened by gunpoint, so he kind of have to accept the deal, I guess. And then he heads back on, and he returns to his friend Jigen, and they discuss the whole thing. And then they take a trip. They just go by foot, and they get drive-by this car, and the car is firing at them, but they blow up the car basically. And then Lupin goes to see a doctor, the doctor that was treating the amnesia kind of guy. And the doctor kind of confirms that they actually did the procedure for him to really just lose his memory. That was the point of the whole ordeal. And the guy is actually a mob boss called the Black Weasel, this really high kind of kingpin kind of guy. And and then Jigen and Lupin kind of discuss this, and then they realize that might be something wrong with the whole ordeal. So they think that the female agent, or the Fujiko, she kind of betrayed them in the past, I think. So they kind of rush back to the mansion to kind of see her. And then Lupin more or less confronts her, and she starts to cry. This is all an act and everything, and he kind of goes into like apologize, and she slaps him in the face and she runs off. And meanwhile there's this other guy, this machine gun kind of guy. I think he was in the car in the beginning. He was the one firing at them from the car, and he's kind of eavesdropping, and they kind of pull in the door, and he falls in, and he kind of apologized. The only reason why he was firing at Lupin and Jigen in the first place was because before the boss kind of got amnesia, he told him to, like, if Lupin gets you, just kill him, fire at him basically. And that's the end of the first part, I guess. And then Lupin gets hit in the head by the machine guy character, and he rushes off to Fujiko. And then it's a strange cut, but they cut to the machine guy and kind of guy and Lupin talking. And then Jigen is there, and some other guy with some special talents. And at this point, they all try to verify who they are, so they have this kind of spy kind of password system, and he kind of asks everyone, and they kind of say their password. And then Lupin kind of asks Jigen, like, what's the password? And he says like a phrase, and he's supposed to respond or whatever. But Jigen doesn't realize he's laughing at the password, and he gets gunned down because the real Jigen, it's not the real Jigen, it's someone else basically, like this kind of spy kind of trauma. And Fujiko is for some reason there, and they're talking. And outside, Senegat, he's kind of a detective who always follows Lupin around and try to catch him. He's out there to get the crime boss's body basically and escort it. So what happens is that they try to get to the body before the cops. So they have like this, they have this elaborate plan how they're supposed to get inside the van while it's moving. So they cut off the convoy and use these kind of roadblocks to a way to direct the traffic. So the armed escort goes one way, and the kind of escort truck with the mob boss's body goes into another. And what happens is that they get in the back, Lupin and the real Gigan now, obviously, I don't know what the fuck, but they get in the back and they find that there's a diamond on the mob boss's person. And then they change the roadblocks back so that the cops wouldn't notice that anything was wrong in the first place. And then Fujiko arrives on bike, and the machine gun guy kind of snatched the diamond for him, and he kind of leaves on the bike with Fujiko, and Jigen shoots him in the back, so he falls off, drops off, and Fujiko gets away. And then Jigen and Lupin is left, and there's kind of this roadblock, but he kind of easily, maneuvers around it, just drive over like a body of water, and they're done with it, they drive off. And then cutting to Fujiko basically enjoying her diamond that she just stole, I guess. And that's the end. I don't like this movie. I think I only bought this movie because it was like less than $1. So it's like, okay, it's an anime. I have no idea like what this is or was even back when I bought it. I can't even remember when I bought it, but it was like, maybe it was like a deal, like you can get like, a couple of movies for some dollars, and it was like, okay, I take this bunch and these other kind of tapes that I don't even know about. So, can I recommend this movie? Absolutely fucking not. But probably the Monkey Punch comic is a lot better. I imagine the art and drawing style is old because it's the 71, and there's not a huge amount of budget going into these movies back then, I guess. But okay, I mean, look into the comics, but avoid this movie at all costs if you can. So anyway, thanks for watching and take care.